So just continue teaching students about important life skills such as business education, financial literacy, how to give back, because these are skills that we need to more focus on in schools. So having that passion for entrepreneurship, I'm glad I can bring it into schools and teach other students about it.
So raise your hand if you've ever started your own business. Awesome. Great. So we have other students here, and I love the age range. NEXGENCEO is for elementary through high school, and there'll be breakout groups where high school students can work together and elementary and middle can work together. So with that, our vision for today is to gather us together. We're going to do a little bit of an intro of what we are, what we're about, and then we'll also go around and have an opportunity for we have some expert business owners. But before we do that, I have a special guest speaker. His name is Mihaly Stavlas, and he has an incredible story on entrepreneurship. So he's just going to talk for a few minutes about why should students be excited about starting their own business? Like who are you, what did you do, and what has entrepreneurship done for you? In 4 minutes.
Okay, I just got my topic literally just now, so it's exciting. I'm excited to be here today and to just talk to you guys. Young entrepreneurs are my favorite people on this planet because their ideas and their passion, they don't have limits. You guys you don't have limits. You really are dreaming and you're thinking big, and there is no reasons why you can't reach those. And I think that's the fertile ground that I think can produce just about anything on this earth. And that excites me. And there's a quote recently that I heard that really impacted me. It's from Mark Twain. You would like that, Laura, as an English writer. He said, the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you realize why. And man, I just sat there and I stared at that, and I just started thinking to myself, the day you were born, that's important, but the day you realize why you were born, what was your purpose, what was your identity in being born? For me, that was a very clear reason at a very young age. How old are you? 9. 10. Okay, so you win the prize today. You're our youngest. At 9 years old as well is when I got my first vision of what entrepreneurship and business would be like in my life. And so to me, that day is a day that I remember quite clearly, because I realized that day is entrepreneurship was my ticket out of my current situation. So for me, money was always limited in growing up. It was never enough. We lived in the projects, we lived in a really bad part of town, and I knew that if I could grab a hold of what business can do for me, it could change 10 generations of my family afterwards. And so that's the day that I realized that entrepreneurship is actually an equalizer. It's like some of us are born in really powerful families, maybe they have a lot of money, maybe there's a lot of stability, and other of us are born in broken families where there's nothing there. Entrepreneurship is an opportunity to equalize whatever situation you're in, whatever walls have been built, whatever trenches are there. And that's what I found out from a young age. I started seeing that entrepreneurship allowed me to be able to have an escape to think bigger, but also more importantly, I started seeing, man, I could kind of raise that gap between other people if I pour into something and really invest in it. So today we're going to talk about some of these things and answer really tough questions. And you'll get a chance to hear from a panel of experts and be able to just ask any question that is on your mind. And then see just from my journey, the most important thing that I grabbed a hold of from a young age is don't ever, be careful who you share your dreams with and your entrepreneurship ideas, because they have the power to propel them or to crush them. So if you're a Christian, if you believe that God gave you that inspiration of an idea, you have a business idea, right? We're going to hear about it today. I'm counting on you. Amelia, you have an idea today, right? Okay, so God gave you that idea. And if he gave you that idea, why do you expect your friend from school to know about that idea or even get a glimpse of what that means to them? Because to them, it may not mean anything, and they may say, well, that's a stupid idea, and that could impact whether you move forward with it or not. But if God gave you that idea, it's between you and him. So then your outlets should be people you trust, your mom, your dad, people that like really want to see you succeed. So when I had my first idea, that's exactly what I did. I went to my mom because she was the most encouraging person in my life, and she was like, it was a silly idea. I made a lot of money as a kid from it, but the idea wasn't great. It was reselling baseball cards, basketball cards, and like just sports souvenir stuff. But I did really well with it, and but she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the most brilliant idea I've ever heard." It wasn't at the time, but because she believed in me, I was able to make hundreds of dollars over the summer breaks, to where I didn't need a real job until I was like around 16, because I was making so much money doing all the other stuff. So, so that's all. Did you want me to hit on anything else, Lynn?
And just tell us what you do today.
Today I run several businesses. One of them is a marketing agency, and we partnered with, I mean, even that, when God started that business with me, I had a hard time visualizing what it's like to do business at any scale, let alone a big scale. Little did I know that 15 years later, we would be partnering with President Obama, with Oprah Winfrey. We would be partnering with Bill and Melinda Gates and doing lots of projects with them. And so what's something that has small, humble beginnings could expand into something greater to where you're actually solving. Entrepreneurship allows you to solve, not just providing for your family and money, but also creating solutions to your communities. So in our case, our agency partners a lot with government to solve real life community problems. Also, we own a publishing company where we publish books and help authors reach next level audiences with their books. And so that's something that we do, and that company is called Lion Gates. It's
Press.
yes.
Lion Press. Awesome, thank you, Mihaly. That's so exciting to hear that your journey in entrepreneurship started when you were just a kid, right?
Yes.
And Mihaly had a very tough upbringing with a single mom, dad that left, and yet through entrepreneurship, the sky is the limit. Like there was no limit on who you could be, what you could do. And I love your story about how God gave you ideas and creativity to start businesses that could generate wealth. And now as a business owner, you're also helping other companies succeed in their journey. So we want to encourage you as students that you're never too young and no idea is too small, just start. And just like Mihaly shared when he was a kid, there might be other kids at school who don't get entrepreneurship. They don't understand. You know, there's a lot of bullying today, but we as a club at NEXGENCEO, we want to champion you in your ideas and in your journey, because we know if you don't quit and you use your creativity and your ideas to do good, it will be blessed and you will succeed. And we're excited for you in that journey. So on that note, just one more quick story. Kaylee, as a kid, I know that you started several businesses to do good. Can you tell us about your journey with Haiti, just for like 2 minutes?
Yes, so I think everyone in this room knows that 8 years old, saw a video of Haitian children that were dying due to malnourishment. They were so hungry, they were eating mud, so I wanted to change. I wanted to help and change this. I saw this issue, wanted to help change, but how. So I decided at 8 years old to start my own business. I ended up providing over $1,000 through my business for an entire year's worth of food, water, education, and 2 teacher salaries for an orphanage in Haiti. But with that being said, it's really important to just stick with it because I am now 16 years old, almost 17, and that was 8 years ago. But I've still stuck with my business and it's evolved into many different little businesses. But now I have a main focus like selling denim jackets. But I really want to hear about your guys' business and what you guys are doing. So Amelia, do you want to start us off? Can you tell us your name, your age, and where you go to school, and then your business, if you have one.
My name's Amelia. I am 10 years old. I go to school at Richland Creek Elementary School. And my business is selling paintings and cookies and bracelets
What's the name of your business?
and millions and more.
What's their name?
And Amelia got to showcase our business at our NEXGENCEO Student Business Fair that we held last May. And we actually had 17 different students show up aged elementary through high school. Tyler and Asher were there selling their business, and we're going to have them introduce themselves in a minute. And during the course of the day, we had the mayor of the city we're in, Smithfield, issued a mayor's proclamation that the day of our fair, which happened to be May 13th, was Next Generation Entrepreneurship Day. So we want to get out there, we want to get the word out there that you are never too young to start a business. You're never too young to discover your talent and do good with it. So we'll get more on that in just a minute, but let's continue our introduction. So I see we have another person here, another entrepreneur. Tell us who you are, what grade you're in, and what your business is.
I am Alexander. I am 9 years old and I go to North Raleigh Christian Academy.
Great. Tell us about your business or businesses that you've started.
My business is called Mini Makes, and I'm currently selling lots of decorations. Yes.
And tell us about your t-shirt.
So I would say probably last December. I decided that I wanted to make a t-shirt, so whenever I was doing anything that had to do with my business, I could just put it on.
That is so cool. Have you thought about making a business out of that?
No, but I was thinking if it got like big enough, I could always sell like merchandise, like just shirts. People like my business, they could buy stuff. I knew lots of people do that, like hold on. Like Richland Creek, I see people with their Richland Creek shirts going around.
Absolutely.
Like they
Or like UNC.
they do a service, but they also get
Oh,
products.
you're talking about like a service. Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like they do things. They teach people, and
And then they have merch.
then they have merchandise. One of my favorite music composers is Blue Cash. On Spotify, you can just go and click merch and buy something. He makes music. That's just one thing, but he also makes merchandise of him. So you can buy a shirt with like his song logo on it.
And I love that whole idea of having merch and what you're hitting on that we'll talk about in time, but having multiple streams of income. Because as an entrepreneur, the first business you do doesn't have to be your only one. You might have many and all different things. What's beautiful about merchandise is, and technology today, is somebody can click on your website and order it while you're sleeping. And you can be making money while you're sleeping, which is an amazing concept.
Yes, that really was my dad. I wish he could come today, but he kind of taught himself how to make websites, so he made me a website, and I really like that. Now the thing about what he was saying with like how he started at 9, when he said I was the youngest, I am 9, but I actually kind of started my business at 8. So I started it at 8, and now I'm 9.
That's awesome. And at our student business fair last May, we had our youngest entrepreneur was 5. So I love that you did it at 8, and I want other students to know that even if you're 5 years old and you have a dream, you can accomplish that. And so when we end our club meeting today, we're going to ask everyone to go invite your friends, whether they're 5, 8, or 18, and bring them here the second Saturday of the month next. So it'll be the second Saturday of the month we'll be meeting here. Okay, I'm going to have you pass the microphone to our next entrepreneur.
Hey, I'm Tyler.
How old are you, Tyler?
I'm 15.
Where do you go to school?
I go to NRCA as well.
Is that North Raleigh Christian Academy?
Yeah, that's NRCA.
Okay.
And
Tell us about your business.
so, like, when I was like younger, I also helped with the like Haiti thing.
How
making
old were you?
cookies. I was maybe 8, maybe
If I was 8.
maybe I was 7. I think I don't
Oh.
know. But yeah, and Kaylee helped me out with that. So yeah.
What was your business in the business fair?
Oh, it was smoking pop. We made popcorn. Me and Asher. Yeah.
So what's the significance behind the name and the business? Isn't there?
We just wanted to make some money, so
Oh, but there was also to end smoking addictions.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Oh yeah, just what? Oh yeah, you got
I'm Asher. I'm 15.
Where do you go to
I
school,
also
Asher?
help, the School for Creative Studies. We had made that business to help support things that deal, not necessarily eliminate smoking addictions, but help people who have fallen into that, because those people, they're looking for an escape a lot of the time, and yeah.
Is there a personal story, a reason?
No.
Just woke up with the idea.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for hitting on a very important point today. And what Asher and Tyler just mentioned is that they were using their business as teenagers, as students, to create awareness for a good cause. And that is a very powerful idea that we want to encourage all of you. In fact, our mission statement at NEXGENCEO is empowering the next generation of student entrepreneurs to do good through business. So how can you do good through business? Well, Asher and Tyler were using their business not just to make money, and by the way, just making money, you can do good things with money. You can tithe it to a church, support a missionary, you can have a fun day with a family, and God is the author of fun, so there's no harm in that. But they were using their business to reach out to other students and teens and their audience and saying, hey, don't smoke, don't vape. And I was very impressed by that. And so that's a question you can consider as you leave this place today in starting your business. How could you use your business to do good? And it could be something like Haley explained. She used her first cookie business that was called the Flying Pastry to use the money to fund an orphanage in Haiti, which just $1,000 in a very poor country like Haiti funded 3 teacher salaries in an orphanage. Isn't that crazy? Or 2 teacher salaries in an orphanage for a year. Isn't that crazy? So in our mindset in America, you might think, oh, I'm just a kid. What could I do with $1,000 or $20? Yet in another country, just $1,000 funded 2 teacher salaries for a year. So your $20 could fund something just for a month, or it just could be used in a lot of different ways to do good. So now that we've heard from our student entrepreneurs, I have another guest that I want to invite to speak. We have Dennis here, who hosts a leadership podcast, and he has done a lot of speaking at schools. He has an incredible background. I'll let him introduce himself to you. But if you could talk to us for a few minutes about your heart for leadership with entrepreneurship and what your journey has been like in a few minutes, just like Mihaly shared a little bit of his journey.
Yeah, so for those of you who have not had the chance to meet yet, Dennis Herring, my wife and I run a dropshipping business, which kind of translates into leadership development for entrepreneurs. But the ultimate goal being that obviously anyone can pursue business ownership, but the key that we've discovered really makes a difference in someone who sees success long term versus doesn't is your business will never outgrow your self-image. It'll never outgrow who you see yourself as. And the way people see you is the way they're going to invest into you, whether it's through education, whether it's through investing in your business financially, personally, etc. And so our biggest focus is not just helping young entrepreneurs start ideas for businesses, but how are you building yourself up in a way that promotes your business from a branding perspective, right? I mean, when like Mihaly has a background in marketing, I'm sure, unless I'm wrong with this, he can immediately take the mic if I'm wrong. But there's a difference between marketing and branding. Marketing is the visualization of your product, but branding is what emotional intelligence is associated with how your product makes somebody feel. Where in the thought pattern of the day do you come to someone's mind? So like, for example, if you can be walking by a pizza shop and you don't even know the name of it, but it automatically makes you think of Domino's, Papa John's, other places, because you recognize those smells. There's a certain experience you have related to that brand, which then brings that back to mind when you have a similar trigger to that experience. In the same manner though, just because you run a business doesn't determine that you will ultimately be successful. What determines that is how well you're building yourself up. How well are you building up who you are to where people want to invest in you and can tie into a vision you have. Like for example, with you, I love the what you touched on in terms of recognizing that an artist had music, but then he also said, oh, you know what? If people like my music, maybe there's a second thing I can create that ties into my music, and you found the merch. And that's all business is. It's finding ways where you can incorporate the experience you're giving somebody into multiple facets. And that's part of the reason why we launched the podcast. It's focused on practical leadership development. How are you building yourself as an individual, but then also coming from a Christian faith background, let's show you where in the Word these principles align. So regardless of whether you choose to pursue that faith or not, you can still see success in the world. You can still recognize the principle of reaping and sowing, or sowing and reaping. You put time enough in, eventually you'll get something out. I mean, just like investment accounts, you put stuff in over time for a long enough period of time, you'll eventually start seeing more results. But regardless of what you're doing business-wise, the key that we've had to learn is, just like going to the gym, you go once a month, not going to see much. Go once a year, going to see even less. But if you go multiple times a week or every day, just for a little bit, that over time equates to a healthier body, maybe stronger muscles, etc. So the focus we have is, how do we take your business idea, but then translate that into you building yourself so that you can grow with your business versus your business only grow to where you're growing to, if that makes sense.
I love everything you just said. Thank you for sharing that. So powerful, and it speaks to us becoming successful in all aspects, right? Not just successful at business, but successful as a mindset of your image of how you see yourself, success in your school, right? So, and we're all on that journey together, no matter your age. I'm 44 years old, and every day I'm making mistakes and still learning. So that's what we want to empower you to do in your journey as a student entrepreneur. So now we're going to move into the time that we're really excited about. We want to hear about what your student business is and any questions you might have. We have a panel of expert entrepreneurs and business leaders here today. So our panel today, as you just met Kaylee, she's a student entrepreneur who started her business at 8 and has had multiple businesses and used her business to raise money for a lot of great causes, from an orphanage to wells in the Amazon. We have Mr. Tom O'Brien. You could call him Mr. Tom. He's here today with a background in sales and marketing, was the vice president for a major company and trained salespeople how to sell a product and how to negotiate a higher price. So if you're going to go to a student business fair or go out in your community and sell, how could you get people to maybe pay more, or how do you navigate that journey? I have Mihaly Stavlas, who you met, who has a marketing company, who trains people how to start a brand. So maybe you have a brand and a name for your business, but maybe you need to tweak it to make it more marketable, or maybe your business isn't best hitting the market that you're trying to hit. So knowing your target audience, and like we just said, also here an expert with Dennis Herring on developing your identity, even as in leadership with a team. You're going to lead a team, you're going to lead yourself, and continuing that journey together. So that's our panel. So what we'll do is, if we could go around and just to paint vision real quick, we are going to have a student business fair. We haven't announced the date yet, but it's coming, and we did it last year. It will be at Briar Creek, which is in the Raleigh-Durham area, and it's right in their parking lot, smack center. We're so excited. We got a business to be our sponsor, Spirit Media. They're located right behind Barnes & Noble and where Braza used to be, Jason's Deli. There's a road that leads right behind it, and there's these 3 beautiful white buildings with a big parking lot, and Kevin White from Spirit Media has sponsored it. And not just that, not just our location, they're going to help us promote it to the media. They're going to help us get the word out, even with as we try to navigate another Next Generation Entrepreneurship Day. And they have also agreed to sponsor a scholarship for our Student Business Fair winner, because we did have judges and a competition. So I'm just painting vision for what's coming, why it's exciting to continue to build your business and participate, is that they are going to sponsor a scholarship of $2,500, which will go to starting your own children's book. So you write a children's book, they will get it published for you, illustrated for you, and published everywhere books are sold. So for example, they did that for Kaylee. She has a book in the front called You Can Change the World. She can sell it and sign it, but you can buy that on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, at Target, everywhere books are sold around the world. And they, Spirit Media, and in partnership with Lioncrest Publishing, are partnering together to get that. So that's the partnership with the scholarship. So really exciting things. I'm going to pass it to Kaylee.
Okay. So let's go around the room, and we all know your businesses now and y'all's names, your background. But does anyone, let's just like go in a circle and have questions and answers regarding your business. So you have a great business, but do you need to find out who your targeted audience is? Do you need to build your branding? Do you need a logo? Do you have any challenges, any questions for us that we can help you answer? So Asher, do you want to start?
Sure. What was the question again?
What are your business challenges
Oh, yeah.
that we can have our experts answer?
I'd say our main thing is probably just production, and the time that we put into that. So how long does it take for us to produce the items, and are we going to get that time back? Like, what should our profit margin be?
Who would like to answer that first? That's it.
I think that's a Tom question, because it's, you saw from a great scale, like how to scale businesses. I mean, I remember early on, the business you worked at was in the millions, but not hundreds of millions. By the time you left, the evaluation was in the billions. Yeah, and so production, scaling, efficiency, creating multiple departments talking to each other. Like, I think there's an art to that, and I've seen you do it as good as anyone I've ever seen. So,
thanks. So it's a good question, Asher and Tyler. What I would ask any business, and this would speak to all of you, to think about not only your target audience, but what is what we call in business, your value proposition. Your value proposition is what makes your business, your service or your merch, right? Your product or your service, what makes it different than anyone else that might have a similar product or service? Because people buy for a lot of reasons, but typically people buy for emotional reasons. We call this sometimes it's referred to as emotional intelligence. So people buy because they want to feel good. It makes them happy, it gives them pleasure, if it's taste, if it's the smoking hot popcorn, what it is. Maybe it's a shirt, your t-shirt, they want to wear it, paintings, or maybe it's a charity. They want to buy it because they like what you stand for. The other thing that I would suggest that you think about as you grow, not only is it important the day you were born, but why you were born, as Mihaly said earlier, but how are you going to give back? God already knows your life plan. He knows it from the moment you were conceived. So how are you going to give that back? Through your business. And if you think about it, many successful businesses do give back through charities, through the community, hiring people. Maybe they're hiring unfortunate, disabled, physically challenged people, whatever. The company I work for, is a Fortune 500 company. It's located in France. The headquarters for the Americas, North and South America, is here in Research Triangle Park. They started out fairly small. It was a very small business. It started in Lyon, France, with Louis Pasteur. And you all may have studied or learned about Louis Pasteur with the vaccinations and smallpox and things. But he knew microbiology. Microbiology is the study and the understanding of microorganisms, and in particular, bacteria. Bacteria can do a lot of different things. They cause a lot of infection, they do nasty things to the environment, to living organisms, and to us, human beings. He, through his science and working that through, not only through vaccinations, which saved millions of lives from diseases, but at the same time, the company, as they got together, were able to expand out and automate a process of identifying the bacteria, because bacteria grows, and not only automating how it grows, but automating it so that they could measure how quickly it grows. Now think about that for just a moment. If bacteria is going to grow, you get an infection, you get a scrape or a cut, maybe the next day it gets a little red, maybe the day after that it gets bigger red, maybe then it gets a little oozing, you might get a little white stuff, like that's your body fighting it. But now you're 3 or 4 days in. Imagine if when you get that cut, science and our company that I retired from, they could take that sample and the same day they could tell you what bacteria it was, and if it's a nasty bacteria, what antibiotic you need. So day 2, with this technology, you'd already be healing, because the bacteria would already not be able to grow. And that's really what was important. So they not only automated it for speed, but then they automated it for rapid. And what they did is they measured how quickly it grew. And then through algorithms, they were able to calculate it. Now, other companies can measure how bacteria grows, but nobody else could measure it as quickly. So the value proposition to the healthcare and to the world, safety, was we can tell you the same day, within hours, what it is versus days. So now you speak to a doctor, or if you're sick in the clinic, or you're a mom or a dad and you bring your child in, wouldn't you rather know within hours what it is and get them on the right course of treatment than wait a few days? Sometimes people waiting those few days don't make it because it's something very serious, or it's really very, very aggressive, and they pass away in the meantime. So lives are saved. Then the way the company gave back, many of you young folks may not have heard of it yet, but I know the adults would have. There is a charity called Mercy Ships. And Mercy Ships are off the coast of many times third world countries, somewhere in the Middle East, South America, Africa. What my company had done is we took a lot of our technology, but we also took our equipment. So as new models of equipment came out that we would sell, let's say in North and South America, rather than scrapping the old equipment, we donated it to the Mercy Ships. We taught them how to use it. And these Mercy Ships, with their support, were able to diagnose in third world countries what was making them sick. They ordinarily would never have had access to that type of advanced science, They just don't. They don't have the medical clinics or the knowledge. But through Mercy Ships, which have volunteers, doctors, volunteer nurses, and this type of technology, it made a world of difference, and we know it saved so many lives. So back again to what does it mean for you guys? It's all about A, your value proposition. What makes you different? What's the emotional connection? Why would a customer want to buy your product over somebody else? So you think about that, and then think about how you give back. Because God knows what you do, and He sees. So when you give back, you will see your business will become so much more rich, and your business will grow many times beyond your wildest dreams. So hopefully I answered your questions. Thank you.
I know Amelia came with a question today.
Would you have a question?
Yes, I don't really have a question, but one thing I really wanted to say was, like Mr. Tom, when he said people like to give back, sometimes they want to, just because they don't have to pay as many taxes if they donate money, but sometimes it's because they really, they just really want to. Definitely Kaylee was, when she was helping, she actually wanted to help, not I can't think of anything right now, but some businesses, they're like, well, we just want to get as much money as we can, so we'll donate $5,000 so we don't have to pay that many taxes. Because some people just want to make money, some people actually want to give back so they can actually help.
It's a very good, insightful observation at your age, Alexander. But there are other ways to give back. Yes, there are systems set up in our society and in our capitalistic environment that you can save taxes. And they are set up in many ways, and many times if you're giving to a charity, you are helping and yet saving taxes at the same time.
Because some people can help, like Kaylee. She helped by giving money, but other people can, she got money, but she actually gave, she gave the money, but some people actually give the actual products away.
Yes.
But she gave the money so that they could do it, but some people give products so they can do it.
Correct. So there's many ways, so what you're saying, what I hear you saying is there's many ways to give back. You could give product, you could give service, you could give money. But there's another way. So at Kaylee's young age, she probably wasn't paying taxes because she didn't have to. She wasn't making enough money. Because there is a certain minimum you need to make before you even become eligible to be required to have to pay taxes back. But there's other things you can do. So maybe in a young business, just for example, you could think about it. You could say, as I sell my product and I grow, I'm going to give 5% or 10%, whatever you decide, to my church. I'm going to give it to, maybe it's a nursing home in my neighborhood. Maybe it's back to your own school as a donation. And again, what they do with it is your way of giving back, but now your fellow students or potential customers, part of your value proposition is you're not just selling your product or service to make money, but it's also like, wow, what a cool business. And you know this young man, he's going to give X percent, whatever you would announce, back to this particular charity. Maybe it's even it's a animal shelter, for cats or dogs or any of those type of things. There's hundreds of ways you can give back. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm saying some people really want to give back some people give back money just so they don't have to, but some people actually want to help so they give back things that actually help, which was really what I was thinking.
Okay. As the mom manager, I wanted to piggyback on something that Mr. Tom mentioned, and you talked about emotional intelligence. And in tandem with this idea of emotional intelligence and giving back, Alexander talked a little bit about your product, but I think it would be helpful for you just to highlight what is something new that you added this year, 2024, that is building emotional connection with your, you call that your buying audience. What do your target audience? Thank you. What is the thing that you started doing this year beyond just selling a product, because that's primarily your history? You started doing something in connecting with a local business, so you started building relationships. But talk about the emotional value you're adding to your community and how that's connecting and kind of maybe building another aspect of your brand you didn't see a year ago.
Yes, it's kind of like a product, but instead of me making it, it's other people making it. I have kind of partnered with the makery, and now they're letting me do workshops. So instead of getting a seller's commission, I'm getting a teacher's commission from that because I'm actually teaching the workshops. And so I've been teaching workshops there, and that really helps because instead of me just making and selling it to 3 people, I'm giving them the supplies and they can make it custom. And I'm kind of doing that on May 4th at Meet in the Street at the Junior Entrepreneurs on White Street that I'm doing. I'm selling, but I'm also letting people come and they can pay a little extra because it's custom, and I can like make it in front of them so they actually see it. Instead of it just being buy this, or buy this, it's buy this, or tell me what you want and I'll make it custom.
And so I think that was the part I wanted to highlight is that in the past year, the 2023 calendar year, most of your business was focused on creating a product and then leaving it at a shop where it was, passively people were purchasing it. And this year you've had the opportunity to connect with additional business owners, which has been really awesome to see, but you connect with your buyers. And so you're giving them not just a product that they take home, but they have an emotional experience. You mentioned customized things or personalized things. So they've taken home something they've created, but they've also created it with you, and so they kind of have a partnership in your company in that manner. So that's
Yes, definitely.
It's actually really cool because what you're doing is you're also teaching. So by letting them emotionally connect with you, and that is emotional intelligence, because then they like you and they like your product and they like what you're doing because you're now sharing your knowledge and experience and skill on how they can make it and customize it at the same time. And what you've done is you've really multiplied your business, because if you would have had one person maybe buy it, you're going to sell 2 or 3. But if you have 10 people making it and each of the 10 sell 2 or 3, you've just sold 20 or 30. So that's really a great way to do it, and that you're headed absolutely in the right direction. So kudos to you. Very nice.
I do have a couple questions. What if there's a product that sells more than others? Do I still sell all the products, or just the ones that are giving more money? And or do I try to create new products and see that accomplish more than the other ones?
Now that's a great question, but I think that stems back to you, Mihaly, a little bit. That's a marketing question. And in terms of, I guess, market segmentation and branding as you track, and those are things you do. I'll address it from a sales side after, but I think we should start with marketing.
So what question, the main question I heard was should you introduce new products, or should you stick with the ones that are selling and kind of based on what you've seen has done well and hasn't?
What about the products that aren't sold?
Yeah. I think the hardest thing you can do in business is get overly excited and ambitious to where your product line exceeds speed-wise of where you're at in your business, like where you're introducing too many products. That's why, if you've noticed, like with restaurants, we all love food, right? I love food. What's one of your favorite food places you love to eat?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A? Amelia? Your dad's food truck? Yes, that's good. Schlotzsky's, okay. Tyler, any place? What's your go-to? Chipotle. Asher?
That makes some good stuff.
You're just at home, okay. Kaylee?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. All the businesses you just mentioned, maybe, I don't know about Schlotzsky's as well, all have a very similar model, which is very small menu. When you go to Cheesecake Factory, there's like a book the size of the Bible there and you got to go through it, and it's also the size of that sign, so you take up the whole table. I'm joking, I'm exaggerating, but I think in business it's the same thing. When you overly introduce too many things, the problem is you're actually causing more confusion, and you're also creating more opportunities for the audience to disconnect with your company. because they don't know, like, you offer so much. It's almost, have you heard the phrase, like, have you guys heard the phrase where it says, when you say too much, you say nothing, but when you say a little, everyone's listening? And it's the same thing. I would say find that 1, 2, or 3 products that absolutely resonate, add value, like Tom said, and then also you're seeing that your audience, it's creating an experience. I love what you said about your product line, where you created that experience, because that experience that you're creating is the difference between connecting with their hearts versus they're just buying something because it was a convenience, it was on sale, or it was maybe like a impulse buy, like, okay, this is kind of cool right now, but you'll forget about it tomorrow. But if you create 1 or 2 things that touches their heart in some way or another, you're going to build brand loyalty where they'll remember it and they'll come looking and seeking for a second and third buy because they want to support the cause. But yeah, I would always say hesitate bringing new products unless you retire, you get rid of the ones that aren't doing well, and then you refocus towards what you are. Another bad thing companies do a lot is they introduce too much and they become kind of a little bit of they're not focused with their product line, so they started off as an outdoor company, but now they are doing outdoor and this, and then now they're doing, and it becomes too complicated again. Does that help, Amelia, with your business?
Yes. I also do have one more question. When Kaylee was 8, when she was 8, she did her business and she made it like $1,000. How, and there's like so many animals and people suffering every day just with the little basic things. How are you able to help them transfer the money to help them succeed, or maybe just help them at least get food on a regular basis?
I think that's a Kaylee question.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to talk about is just like giving back. Because, I mean, I guess I am an expert, not as much as you guys, because I don't have that much knowledge, but I do have knowledge on entrepreneurship and finances, but giving back is one of my main passions. So I would start off by finding an organization or finding something that you're passionate about. So that could be, there's this organization called Compassion, where every month you pay $30, and that $30 goes to a kid that you adopt, and that provides his water, his food, any extra supplies that he may need in a third world country. So that's really helpful. Is there anything that sparks like wanting to give back, like any topic? Are you passionate about animals? Are you passionate about helping the homeless? Like,
Kind of both. Honestly, humans and animals, like, as I said, they're suffering every day just to get food. Like, there's dogs and cats out on the street, and they have to go in the dumpster and trash, try to find stuff, and then they run into glass, and I just want at least the environment to be more safer when they throw away things, at least, and that's not spending money just to put it in a safer spot.
so research is going to be your best friend. So I would research companies and businesses that, or even nonprofits that go and say that's what you're really, really passionate about, is helping animals and being more cautious about our environment and what we put out there, because we only have one Earth, right? So having that, look up and research organizations near you, and then you get connected that way. It's all about relationships.
I love that, Kaylee, and in fact, I would add to that, because I think you're spot on with everything you just said. I think it's good advice. But I remember the Amazon, when the Jungle Gym, the organization, Amazon Rides, was going into the Amazon to help structure communities, Amelia, and be able to help with organizations and tribes that have never been reached. So she goes and lives with the tribes for 6 months out of the year. And when Kaylee really wanted to help bring a value to those communities, she asked Jungle Gen, what is the greatest value we can add to them? And they're like, well, they never heard the name of Jesus in a lot of cases. So waterproof Bibles would be really amazing because it rains a lot in the Amazon. Also water, they don't have drinking water. And in that case, what I remember early stages of that is you sat down with the person that had access to the tribe, and you said, what can I do to bring value to you as you bring value to them? You didn't go to the Amazon yourself. You didn't try to reinvent the wheel. You went to the source that actually has feet on the ground in the Amazon. So she started raising money, and eventually they started putting wells in these tribes. And in one case, one tribe, Kaylee, you can speak on this a little bit more. One tribe was close to being extinct. I mean, they were dying constantly from water, bad water, and now they're living, thriving, and most importantly, following Jesus, which is really awesome.
Yes, so like you mentioned, you could either give product, services, or money, right? Those are the three main reasons. So you could either go and serve an organization, partner with the thing like fundraising. You could fundraise for the business. You could give a certain percentage of your income to the business. You could go and give product. Say you make Bibles and you produce them. I talked to her and it was like $5 for a waterproof Bible, and then I think $7 for an audible Bible, because most of the people in the Amazon are illiterate. They don't know how to read. So they can understand, but they can't read a Bible. So it's really important just to think about different circumstances and talk to experts on that topic.
So, we have one more comment, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to elaborate on Mihali's response to Amelia's question. Your first question was, how do you decide which product to keep? You have a couple of different products, some are doing well, maybe some are not. Do you keep the ones that are not, or do you keep making them? How do you turn that around? The answer I would have to that question is, ask your customer. The best way to find out how your value proposition is working is ask. Ask your customer. So as you start to sell things, the ones that are selling well, here's the trick. Ask your customer, how's that working for you? What does it mean to you? How did that make a difference in your life? They'll tell you the secrets. They'll tell you the answers. That becomes your new marketing strategy in terms of your sales pitch down the road. The products that are not doing really well, ask your customers. Gee, what was it about that product that didn't work for you? You know, I'm curious, why did you buy this one or not that one? Or, may I ask you a question? What was it about this product that it could have had a different feature or benefit that might have had more interest to you? They will tell you. In a very nice way. Customers love to talk. They love to tell you. Today in social media, you're getting that answer if you read the reviews. So I read a lot of reviews on products I'm about to buy, and I look at that, I look how many reviews, and then I read them all. They really tell me whether the product works or not, pretty much. But when I was training marketing professionals, that's how we developed our marketing strategy. We had the idea, we knew what we needed, we had a value proposition, but then we did a test market. So the very first customers, we got a lot of feedback. How did that work? What did you like about it? If there was one thing you could change in this product, what would it be? Customers will design the new product for you, and that helps you decide, okay guys, here's how we have to get the message out. So just like Mihaly said, and that's what Kaylee was doing in the Amazon, although they didn't have the product yet, but you were asking what service, what is the biggest need? They were telling her, right? So, and for Alex, for you, what is it, as they like it, what is it you like about my t-shirts? What is it you like about my class? Is there anything I could have done differently in the next class? What else would you like me to expand upon? Basically, they're going to tell you what that would be in a very nice way. And now that's your value proposition, and that's how you're different than the next guy or girl. okay?
I love that.
So,
That's
there you
such,
go.
thank you for your question, Amelia. Thank you everyone for your insight and being here today. We're gonna honor the time and wrap this up, but I just wanna announce what's gonna happen, our next club meeting. So our next club meeting will be the second Saturday of the month, so it's next month is May. We're April, it's May. It's May 11th, Saturday morning, 10:30 to 11:30. What I want to invite you guys to do, I want to ask you, how would you like in our next club meeting to bring your business, because you all are established business, bring your products. We'll have tables, bring your signs, and what if next club meeting we do a test market? We'll have our experts walk around, you can do your business pitch, you can sell, and we can invite people in the mall. If you'd like to do that, raise your hand for next meeting. Okay, so we have 2, and you could bring your friends to come support your business, and if they like it, they might want to join our Next Gen CEO Club.
Yes, so bring a friend. If everyone brings a friend, we will grow. There was a lot of people that wanted to be here today, but they couldn't. But if everyone brings a friend, we can reach a bigger audience, right? So maybe next time we have donuts or something. We'll bribe you. We'll bribe you.
Yes, so here's what you need to remember for next month. You're going to come with your business, whatever product, and now it could be a mini version. Maybe you just want to sell 10 to 20 products total. Mini version, we'll have a little table and chair set up. Bring your sign, your name, and do a test run. And this could be like a practice run for the Next Gen CEO Business Fair, but you could get insight from our Crabtree Valley Mall customers of what they like about your product. How could you win? What you could do to make it more marketable, better. Amelia, questions like, hey, why'd you buy this cookie over my bracelet, right? Anyway, so on that note, no age is too young, no idea is too small. We want to thank you for coming today, and feel free to hang around if you have any questions. Thank you again. And that concludes our meeting.